Dramatic story for Maya the Bee, stories for teenagers, with a powerful hook at the start and a subscribe request woven in. I'll make it intense, layered with twists, and structured to keep attention all the way through while keeping it one uninterrupted paragraph. What if the smallest creature in the meadow carried the biggest secret in the world, and what if telling it meant risking every buzzing heartbeat she had left? Before you dive into the truth that changed Maya the Bee forever, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the stories that make your pulse race and your mind spin, because once this one begins, you won't want to blink until the last wingbeat fades. Maya had always been the cheerful wanderer, the curious dreamer of the meadow, flitting between daisies and dandelions with a smile as warm as morning sun. But that summer was different. The flowers seemed to whisper warnings when she passed, the wind carried scents she couldn't place, and even her best friend Willie buzzed with a nervous energy he tried to hide, telling her she should stay close to the hive and not go poking her antennae into shadows. But curiosity was Maya's fuel, and shadows were only puzzles waiting to be solved. Or so she thought until the night she saw the sky split with green fire and heard the meadow go silent, not the peaceful kind of silence but the sharp, listening silence of predators and prey alike. She followed the glow until she reached the edge of the old willow grove, where the air smelled faintly of iron and honey and something darker, and there she found a bee she had never seen before, half hidden under a leaf, his wings torn, eyes wide with a desperation that made her chest tighten, whispering, "They're coming for the queen, and you're the only one who can stop them." Before collapsing, Maya didn't even have time to ask who they were before the ground trembled with a rhythmic thud-thud-thud. Not the stomp of any meadow creature she knew but something heavier, deliberate, and closer by the second, forcing her to drag the injured stranger through the tall grass until they reached a hollow log. She stayed awake all night, guarding him, replaying his words until they became a riddle she couldn't shake, and when dawn came, he was gone, leaving only a single shard of translucent green crystal, warm to the touch, humming faintly like a hive in mid-flight, except no hive she knew sang that low, ominous note. She took it to the queen. But to her shock, the queen's normally calm face tightened, and she ordered Maya to forget she'd ever seen it, assigning her to pollen duty far from the willow grove, which was as good as telling her there was something to hide, and Maya couldn't let go of the scent of secrets. So that night she slipped away, only to find the willow grove guarded by hornets in black armor, creatures so large their shadows swallowed the grass. She barely escaped by diving into a thistle patch, but not before overhearing them mention Phase 2, and the sleeping hive, terms she didn't understand until she met Flip the grasshopper, who told her of an ancient hive that had been put into hibernation centuries ago to protect it from a war that nearly wiped out all bees, a hive said to contain the heart of nectar, a gem of pure energy that could either heal a dying meadow or enslave it, depending on who held it. Suddenly the green crystal in her satchel seemed heavier, more dangerous. She wanted to run back to the safety of the hive and forget it all, but then Willie was kidnapped, his tiny scarf left snagged on a thorn at the grove's edge, and fear burned into resolve. She tracked the hornets into the forest, through webs that shimmered with dew and danger, past mushrooms that glowed with a sickly yellow light, until she reached a clearing where the hornets' leader, a massive brute named Vespid, held Willie over a pit filled with sticky amber liquid that hissed and bubbled. "Give us the crystal, little wanderer," he sneered, "and we might let him buzz away." But before Maya could move, a shadow swept over the clearing, and out of the treetops dropped the injured bee from before, now wearing fragments of green crystal-like armor, moving with a speed and fury that turned the battle into a blur of wings and stingers. In the chaos, Willie fell, Maya dove, catching him just before he hit the amber, and when she looked up, the stranger and Vespid were locked in a fight so fierce it cracked the ground beneath them, until finally both tumbled into the amber with a splash, the green shards scattering in every direction. She grabbed the largest one and fled with Willie, but the meadow was no longer safe. The hornets were in retreat, but their eyes burned with the promise they'd return, and the queen herself met Maya at the hive entrance, this time not with orders to forget but with a quiet, almost fearful question: "Did you keep it?" And when Maya handed her the crystal, the queen held it as though it might bite, whispering, "Then the real war has begun." And in that moment Maya understood that her days of carefree wandering were over. She was now the keeper of a secret that could save or destroy every winged life in the meadow, and she could no longer tell friend from foe, not even in the hive she called home, but somewhere in the distance, under the hum of ordinary life, she could still hear the faint, dangerous heartbeat of the green crystal, calling her toward a future she didn't yet understand, but would have to face before the next full moon. So, if you think this was intense, subscribe now, because the next part of Maya's story will sting sharper than anything you've ever felt.